Only 10% of all startups succeed. That means 90% of all startups are going to fail. So the question is, why is it so hard to build a startup? This video is about 11 reasons why it's so hard to actually build a startup. I'm Vlad Kachar, I'm a technology entrepreneur, and here we go. Number one. The first one is, there's just so much hard work that'll never pay off. Now, note that I said so much hard work that'll never pay off. That means, yeah, you'll be working extremely hard, but many of the things you're doing just will not yield fruitful results, because you're going to have to try so many things, and most of the things you try, they're going to fail. So imagine that if out of every 100 swings, 90 swings you miss. So that's very hard, and especially if you're working extremely hard. So that's the first reason why it's so difficult, because this extreme hard work, most of it will not pay off because many of the initiatives will fail. You got to keep fighting. Number two, most people will reject you. So all of the first customers, to all of the first, let's say, investors, to all of the first everyone will reject you. Because when you're starting out, since most businesses fail, everyone doesn't even want to hear you. Meaning, many times when you get rejected, they don't even know what you do. You'll reach out to customers, you'll say, hey, I have the solution that'll change your life, and they say, no, we're all good. They don't even know what you're doing. So pretty much everyone's going to reject you, and that's quite tough mentally, right? Next is number three. Most people won't believe in you. This is also a really hard part, because many employees, many candidates you try to recruit, many times even your family members, many times your friends, most people won't believe in you at all. And this type of lack of support makes it harder for you to really kind of thrive. That's why you have to be so strong-willed that you'll overcome all those things. Next, number four, nothing is prepared for you. I can't stress this enough. There's so many little things in business that nothing is prepared for you unless you do it. So example, let's say if you need an office, to find the office, to make sure it's proper office, to make sure it has proper Wi-Fi and proper AC, that requires a lot of work. Customer acquisition's a lot of work. Design, every design is a lot of work. Even FAQs, privacy policy, and terms sucks. You know how bad it sucks writing terms of use and privacy policy? It's the most worthless things on the planet for a small company. You got more important things, but you have to do it. So one more reason basically that it's so hard, you have to do everything. Next is number five. It's hard to align all of your early employees with the company. Boy, this is hard. Because you want to hire people who love the company, love what they're doing, love the mission, and they're super excited. And this is very hard to do, right? Just think about recruiting an employee to your company. Usually they consider a salary, some kind of working hours, overall what the culture is like. But the key of all of that is the mission and what we're trying to build and what we're doing. That's the most important part. So when you find an employee who's aligned with the company, those are the hitters. Those guys, it's all about them. Because those few people usually hold the whole company together. So this is a challenge, though, to get people aligned with the company. Next, number six, you have to be able to handle constant surprises completely beyond your control. Now, I said completely beyond your control. So what it'll be like out of nowhere. Everything's going okay, and out of nowhere, bah! Something comes out of nowhere, and you have to handle it quickly. And you never have a lot of time, and it always has to be solved right away. So you have to handle constant surprises, and that's very challenging because when you grow in a business, it's already so much work. There's so many things you're doing, so when a big surprise comes, it knocks you off. So you have to quickly stabilize and then keep pushing. Number seven, you have to be ready to take a punch every day while doing 10 jobs. That's so hard. It's just so hard. From building the product to recruiting to bringing the users to making sure there's money in the bank to pay everyone to delivering the customers to making sure that proper customer service to the sales team to managing the sales team to managing the people, their raises, their packages, and all of that you have to be ready to take a punch every day while doing all of that, and that's quite tough. Next, number 9. You have to learn, adapt really quickly, and you have to extract lessons. That's really hard, right? So one of the critical things to do in a startup is when something comes up, you have to learn, adapt, and say, okay, what did I learn? What was the mistake here? How do I avoid this next time? Because if you don't capture that lesson, you're going to repeat that same lesson. That means you won't be able to progress. So this is actually hard. Number 10, you have to execute new initiatives constantly. That's not that easy, because to execute new initiatives constantly, you have to try completely new things. And the problem with startups is pretty much everything you do somehow loses you money. So especially if you have to hire or if you have to do a marketing initiative, it loses you so much money. And you frequently have to watch the burn rate, how much money you're burning. So executing new initiatives is actually tough because it frequently loses your money. Many of those things don't work, and you have to adjust and kind of persevere anyway. Next, number 11, and this is my final point, why it's so hard to build a startup. And the answer is, there's so much hard work. I can't stress this enough. You know, when I meet people and sometimes they're like, hey, I work really smart. I work really smart, not hard. That's usually the person that was never the first 20 team members of a successful company. Ever. I swear to you, ever. Ever. Because there's just so much hard work. Like, you will have to work harder than you've ever had in your life. Like, if you read about how they built Google, for example, you'll see that those team members were saying the hardest they've ever worked in their whole lives were those first 2 years building Google, from that garage to like every day. So it's so much hard work. There is no work-life balance. You won't see your friends much. You won't see your family much. It'll be very stressful, but you know, they say, diamonds are made through fire. So it's okay, because if you're an early team member at a startup, or if you're a founder of a startup, it's absolutely worth it. It's worth it to go through all of these 11 things, and actually more, to do the magic that you're trying to do. And I'd like to end this with a quote by Winston Churchill, he was one of the greatest generals. And he said, success is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. And that's critical. So next time you're going from failure to failure to failure to failure, you keep your chin up so high that you never give up, you never surrender, you never back down, you never ease off, and you persevere. Thanks for watching.